The morning sun bathed the village of Yumujam in golden light, casting long shadows over the ancient Iroko trees that lined the paths. Children laughed as they chased each other through the fields, while the distant hum of the women's songs drifted from the river. Life in Yumujam was steeped in tradition, where every custom had a purpose and every family carried the weight of their ancestors' legacies. At the heart of the village, Nwokosi, a young man of 23, labored at the smithy with his father. His hands were rough from years of hammering iron, and his muscles carried the strength of his trade. Yet, beneath his rugged exterior, Nwokosi often felt the sting of unspoken questions. He was different. Born with an unusual birthmark shaped like an eagle on his back, he had always been the subject of hushed whispers and sidelong glances. His late mother, before her passing, had told him the mark was a gift, but his father dismissed it as coincidence. Life continued in its predictable rhythm until the IWAG, the New Yam Festival, approached. It was during this time that the village seer, Neka, began to receive troubling visions. She would often sit in her shrine, her voice shaking as she spoke of a looming darkness that threatened the peace of Yumujam. The land is restless, she warned. The ancestors whisper of a hidden truth and a leader yet to rise. The night before the festival, the entire village gathered at the square. The elders sat in a semicircle while the villagers formed a crowd, their faces lit by flickering torches. Neka stood in the center, her white wrapper glowing eerily under the moonlight. She raised her staff and began to chant. In the hills where the palms sway and the winds whisper, lies a secret buried by time. Only the one marked by the eagle can unlock it. Step forward, child of destiny. A ripple of silence swept through the crowd. Nwokosi froze as every eye turned to him. His father's stern gaze urged him to stay silent, but something deep within him stirred. He felt a pull, as though the ancestors themselves were calling him. Slowly, he stepped forward. I am the one with the eagle mark, Nwokosi said, his voice steadied despite the hammering of his heart. Gasps filled the air. Neka smiled knowingly and beckoned him closer. Your journey begins tonight, she said. At the break of dawn, you must climb to the sacred hills and uncover what the ancestors have hidden. That night, sleep eluded Nwokosi. As the village fell into slumber, he sat outside his hut, staring at the dark silhouette of the hills. What lay ahead? Could he bear the weight of whatever truth he uncovered? At first light, he set out, armed with nothing but a torch and his resolve. The path to the sacred hills was treacherous, overgrown with wild shrubs and guarded by the claws of unseen creatures. The higher he climbed, the colder the air grew, as if the spirits of the hills were testing his endurance. At the summit, he found a hidden cave, its entrance covered by vines. Inside, the walls were etched with ancient carvings depicting battles, victories, and the reign of a great king. At the center of the cave stood a pedestal, and upon it lay a crown made of gold and ebony, encrusted with red and green stones. As he reached for the crown, a sudden vision consumed him. He saw a great war, the people of Yumujam scattered, and a king, his ancestor, making a vow to the gods to protect the village. The crown, he realized, was a symbol of that sacred oath, passed down to a chosen leader in times of need. When he returned to the village, carrying the crown, the people were waiting. Whispers turned to murmurs, and murmurs to chants of his name. But not everyone celebrated. The Council of Elders, led by Ichi Okoro, a staunch traditionalist, refused to accept Nwokosi's claim. Leadership is not for smiths, Okoro declared. The gods would never choose one so common. But Neka stood beside Nwokosi, her voice firm. The ancestors have spoken. It is not his birth but his destiny that calls him. The days that followed were marked by tension. Nwokosi knew that to prove himself, he had to earn the trust of his people. He began by listening to their grievances, disputes over land, the plight of the widows, the need for better irrigation. Slowly, he gained allies, not through force but through action. When raiders threatened the village one night, Nwokosi led a band of youths to defend their homes. His courage and strategy saved Yumujam, and even his fiercest critics began to see him in a new light. On the day of his coronation, the village gathered once more at the square. The elders, though reluctant at first, stood in support as Nneka placed the crown on Nwokosi's head. With this crown, she proclaimed, "We welcome a leader who has revealed the truth, risen to the challenge, and will reign with wisdom and strength." The villagers erupted in cheers, their voices echoing through the hills. Nwokosi stood tall, his heart swelling with a mix of pride and humility. He had been forged not just by iron but by trials, and he vowed to rule with the same dedication he had shown at the smithy. Under his reign, Umuijum flourished. The fields yielded more harvest, disputes dwindled, and the people walked with a newfound pride. Nwokosi's journey from an ordinary smith to a revered leader became the story parents told their children, a reminder that greatness often lies in the most unexpected places. And so, Nwokosi revealed the truth, rose to the challenge, and reigned with honor, becoming a symbol of hope for generations to come.